Hello, here, founder of UnleashWD, and I am coming to you with our Innovation Truths live on LinkedIn and elsewhere. Today, not from my office in Barrington, Illinois, but from downtown Miami. It's absolutely beautiful out there, and I am absolutely looking forward to this time with you. So as you come on in, please let me know that you are here, and I'd love to say hello. Let me know how you're doing, how your day is going, and then we're going to get into this one. We're going to get into this. We're going to look at innovation truth number 22, that legacy thinking is holding us back. And let's talk about that. I'm excited to do that with you. All right. It's part of our series of 34 innovation truths. It's been a great conversation. I can't wait to continue it with you right now, today, here from Miami. And yeah, come on in. Let me know that you're here and let's have this conversation. And we're going to get started in exactly 2 minutes. Okay, everybody? Here we go. Good morning. Thanks again for being here, everybody. I got to tell you, it's weird being out of your environment that you're used to, and I've got a different setup here. I'm looking at different things, so yeah, I'm a little bit more nervous than usual, but we are going to get through it. Hey, guys, thanks so much for being here. Jen, great, as always to see you. Thank you. Good morning to you. Mr. Jones, I know you're having an epic and awesome day. Great to see you. And oh my goodness, again, Kenya is in the house. Cedric, my friend, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Michael, I'm going to send some of this heat up there towards Massachusetts. It is warm down here. Ted, Ted. I was supposed to be off today. You're right. Thank you for being here. But I took yesterday off. Don't tell anyone. I wasn't supposed to, but life got in the way. I took yesterday off, so I thought, come on, let's come do it today. And then Marlene, great as always to see you. Thank you, guys. All right, so let's set the stage for what we're doing here. All right, and I know there's some of you that are new, continuing to come in. Say hello. Let me know that you're here. But again, to set the stage, what we're doing in these LinkedIn Lives right now is we are looking at 34 innovation truths that we have captured through our research, through our work with clients, and the like in this manifesto, this innovation manifesto statement that you see on there. Today is innovation truth number 22. Again, as I say, don't get caught up in the numbers because I really believe I'm off on the numbers, but we'll fix it. We'll get through all 34 and we'll fix that. So anyway, today we're saying is number 22. All right. Pam, great to see you. Thanks so much for being here. So if you guys are ready, let's get going and we'll get started right now. Here we go. Okay, just before we get going into the innovation truth, I wanted to show you what it takes to do something like this from the road, from the hotel room, um, and the different uses for normal household or hotel type, not appliances, but things, all right? I mean, how many different ways can you use an ironing board, okay? Um, well, here's a picture of my room right now. All right, so I've got the table to the. I tried to do it on the table first. You see in that brown box over there, that's the garbage can. I put that on top of the table at first. That didn't work. Then I tried to put the ironing board on top of the table. That didn't work. So I put the chair against the wall and the ottoman against that, and then I put the ironing board on top of all that, and there's a computer. So holy cow, right? I hope it works. So if I'm a little shaky today, it's not that I had a late night last night. It's that everything is absolutely sitting on top of an ironing board, on top of a chair, on top of an ottoman, and it is a little bit shaky. So yeah, I do think this. Thank you, Jennifer. Who says that Dirk Beveridge is not innovative himself? See, I don't just talk about it. I can actually be innovative and creative myself. So I'm glad you saw that, Jen. Yeah. And Ted, yeah, Bethany will absolutely keep us straight on all of that. So you guys, super cool. All right. So ironing board and all, here we go. Innovation truth number 22 says, legacy thinking is absolutely holding us back. And I think it's our job as leaders to acknowledge this and then find ways to obliterate it. And that's what I'd like to do today, is to talk about what are some of the causes of this legacy thinking, and then talk about, I'll end with 3 ideas that we can use even starting today to obliterate legacy thinking that might be holding us back in our organizations, okay? So let's take a look at the definition of legacy thinking. Legacy thinking, to me, it's all about when we are ingrained in and on the thoughts of the past. Legacy thinking, to me, is all about the concepts, the frameworks that we perceive as reality and that we perceive as truths because they were reality at one time, maybe even today. There were realities and truths at one time, even maybe today. But they don't necessarily mean that they are truth today. You know, in this age of disruption, this age of acceleration, right? Truths are being reframed as a result of new technologies, as a result of new markets, as a result of new competitors, right? The truth is in a sense changing as fast as the world is changing around us. So legacy thinking, thoughts from the past, concepts that we have perceived as reality, that we have perceived as truth, and at one time they were, and at one time they were a truth. But it's our job as leaders to test and question assumptions so that the world does not pass us by. Some examples, right, of realities and truths that are no longer reality and truth, right? So it was true, it was a reality that if we wanted to watch a television show in the past, in the not too distant past, we had to watch Seinfeld in season and 1 episode per week. We had to wait for 7 days to pass to watch that episode. That was a truth. It was a reality until it wasn't. There was a truth, right? That inside salespeople had to come into the office every day to work. That was a truth, certainly before May 13th of 2020, before COVID, right? It was a truth that how many times have you heard leaders throughout distribution before COVID say, you know what, this whole remote for work from home, that doesn't work in distribution. We have to be here. Well, that truth, was rewritten. Another truth, right? Taxis were yellow, maybe dirty, and you had to hail them from the curb. That was a truth. Absolutely carved in stone until it wasn't. Another truth, where you had to go to the mall to shop. Remember that? I can't remember. I mean, right over across the interstate there is a big mall. I can't remember the last time that I've been in a mall. That truth has been obliterated. Truth of the past said you had to go to the mall, not to the mall, to the wall see, I was trying to be cute there. Have this one right after that one so that the mall and wall, anyway, backfired on me. The truth said you had to go to the wall to make a telephone call, right? Absolutely, we know it's obliterated, right? So next, another example, that sales were based on the relationships that outside salespeople had. I mean, for years, that was the truth. That was the legacy. That's how compensation programs were made. That's how we recruited people, right? It was true until it's not. Another truth. We had to walk, open out in our PJs. We had to go outside to our curb, pick up the newspaper in order to read the news. And another one, the last one I've got for you is, the truth that in the past we needed a college degree to advance in business. When I first started writing and talking about the age of disruption and innovation in distribution, I used to talk about, in distribution, we have this culture that said, hey, come to work for us, man. We really want you to come out of college, man. Come to work for us, man. We're going to get you a job in distribution. And by the way, put your head down, do your work. And by the way, put in the time for 30 years, man, because there's a lot of experts around here. A lot of people that have been in this business for a long time. So you come on in, put your head down, do the work, put your 30 years in. And after 30 years, we'll what? We'll listen to you. But that's absolutely how it was. But it's absolutely, I think, being obliterated. So legacy thinking can absolutely hold us back. I love this quote from my friend, futurist David Hooley. And David Hooley says this about legacy thinking. He's a futurist. He's written a book called Shift Age. He's spoken at my Unleash Innovation Summit twice. And what he said was, we collectively agreed to believe in a reality that in part exists because we believe it to be true until it no longer is. Right? We collectively agree to believe in a reality that in part exists because we believe it to be true until it no longer is. We believe we had to hail a cab by holding up our hand until somebody obliterated that thinking. We believed we had to go to the mall until somebody obliterated it. We believed that outside sales had to develop these close personal, emotional relationships. It's the only way we're going to get the business until COVID happens, right? So, legacy thinking is absolutely holding us back. Cedric from Kenya, when you think about it, that's cold. Well, what is that? And what's hilarious, Cedric? Keep coming. I need to know you're thinking there, okay? Sorry. Okay. So, guys, as I think about this, I've identified 3 curses that lock us into legacy thinking. New ideas are stifled by old ways of thinking and doing things. And I think there are 3 curses that help lock us into the old way of thinking and the old way of doing things. Number 1 is what I call the curse of knowledge. You see, I've got 30 years in this business. I've seen everything. I've seen it all. Have you seen that? I've seen it all. I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't work. And I have this ingrained legacy knowledge that tells me I know the answers. And I even know the questions to ask because we've asked them for the last 30 years. It's the curse of knowledge. When we have that knowledge of how it's been, of how it's worked, of the industry, of how the industry works, of how relationships are developed, that knowledge locks us in and says, you know what, there's no other questions we need to ask because we've already asked the questions and we already know what we need to know. So let's just go on with our head down. I call it the curse of knowledge. When in reality, in the age of acceleration, in the age of disruption, we don't even know what questions we need to be asking ourselves. So we need to think differently. Number one, the curse of knowledge. Number two is the curse of expertise. It's the curse of expertise. Look, I have been a proven performer in this business for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I am perceived. I have been elevated. I have been promoted because of my expertise, my functional expertise in the warehouse, in sales, in marketing, in product development, whatever it is. And that expertise has allowed me to advance. Well, that expertise has brought us to today. Tomorrow's world is probably going to demand a different type of expertise or other expertise, broader expertise, deeper expertise. So I said in there, the reality is today's solutions was built for yesterday's world. And the expertise that built yesterday's world, I don't know if it's the expertise that's built for tomorrow's world. And quite frankly, this is a hurdle that I think many businesses are going to have to overcome in the coming years, right? It is that the expertise that built our organizations brought us to where we are, and from great, good people who have done amazing work. But that expertise might not be the expertise that's needed for tomorrow's world. Do you know what I mean there? Does that make sense? And the hard decisions are, right, at some point in time, if that expertise becomes outdated, we might need to make some changes. All right, does that make sense? I hope I said that okay. And then number three is the curse of success. The curse of success. You know, I got to tell you, I'm having conversations with a number of leaders throughout distribution who are a little bit worried about what's going to happen post-COVID. Because, you know, a lot of the businesses have done okay, more than okay, through COVID. Depends on line of trade and the like. And some have had even a better and stronger bottom line than pre-COVID. And so the thinking is, do we really need to be rethinking our business going forward if we even weathered COVID? Does that make sense? So there's this curse of success that holds us back. And the fact is, there is a better way of coming. Whatever it is we're doing in our business, whatever function we're doing, there is a better way coming if it's not already here. So three curses. The curse of knowledge, the curse of expertise, and the curse of success are, I believe, three curses that hold us back. So let me see what Cedric says all the way from Kenya. Cedric tells us the old way of how service used to be delivered and how technology has disrupted the old way and empowered the customer to put you out of the business from mobile devices, for example. Absolutely, no doubt. And then, Cedric, you talk about evolve or die. And we are like-minded, my friend. We are like-minded. I love it. So, guys, when I think about those three curses, you know how I see them show up as a broad example in our companies? I see those three curses show up in the narrative of our companies. So I want to ask you the question, what is the company, your company's narrative saying? And the way I look at that, the way I describe that is this. When I come into your business, what I often see is this. I come into the reception room and I'm walking down the hall to the offices, and maybe on that hall wall or maybe on that reception wall, what I see is a narrative of your company, and the narrative is about the past. What I see on that wall is a picture of the founders. Amazing. I mean, my God, the entrepreneurialism they did, the risk-taking they did, what they've built is absolutely amazing. And there they are. And then we see the picture of the very first location and the very first truck. And then we see a picture of the 4 or 5 or 8 or 12 or 15 first employees, you know, after that first revenue mark was hit. And I see that picture. And then I see the next president and the next president. And all of a sudden then, you know, my point is that we see that narrative of what has brought us to today. We see the narrative of the company's past. Boom. And we get to that, and all of a sudden, bam, the narrative stops. Pass. Boom, the narrative stops. You know what I ask? I ask, how does this narrative continue? What are the pictures you're going to put up? What is the story you're going to put up on that wall? Not about the past, but about the future. You see, I believe even those amazing stories we got there contribute to the legacy thinking. They talk about the knowledge, the expertise, and the success that brought us here. And I think it just sets the tone to say, let's focus on what has been rather than on what we need to do and what we need to create. Does that make sense, you guys? Let me know in the comments if this is making sense, all right? So here we go. 3 ideas to potentially obliterate legacy thinking in your organization. And we need to think about how we obliterate legacy thinking in our organization, because innovation, change, it never takes place unless we have the license to, and unless we have the desire to, and unless we have the ability to challenge our current assumptions that have absolutely brought us to today in a positive way. All right, so obliterate legacy thinking. So 3 ideas, 3 quick ideas that you can start thinking about today. All right, number one is, if you want to obliterate legacy thinking, get out of your industry. Later on, one of our 34 statements is, it says something around, we've been too incestuous. And that relates to what I'm saying here. If we want to obliterate legacy thinking, we have to collide with different people. We have to collide with different ideas. We have to collide with different industries. What I built my Unleash Innovation Summit on this premise. And the premise was that we've been too incestuous, that electrical distributors like to hang out with electrical distributors. Man, yeah. Plumbing distributors like to hang out with plumbing distributors. Yeah. HVAC, industrial distributors want to hang out with industrial distributors, right? Yeah. Because, man, we are all like-minded. We all have similar customers. We all have similar problems. And what happens is, for years, we've simply been regurgitating the same information, the same challenges, looking for best practices. And even those best practices have been regurgitated. And what happens is we get locked into the way things are, the way this industry is. And I think today more than ever, man, if you're going to obliterate legacy thinking, you have to get inputs from places that you typically do not get input from. That's why at our Unleash Innovation Summit for the last 8 years, I build this at Build, B-I-L-L-E-D. I've built this as an industry conference with no future. Excuse me, I'm reading your comment. An industry conference with no industry speakers. Why? Because we've heard everything from Dirk already. We've heard everything from the other industry consultants already. I mean, watch. What we need to hear from David Hooley, the futurists. We need to hear from individuals that see the world in a different way than us. Boom. So number 1, get outside your industry. Does that make sense? Man, read books, not about distribution, not about supply chain. Read about the changes in technology. Read about how Apple was built. Read about how Berlin, no, they were a distributor. Anyway, you get the point. Number two, obliterate legacy thinking. No, what am I saying? I told you I was nervous. I'm sweating down here in Miami. Sorry, number 2 is to inject youth. You know, if we want to obliterate legacy thinking, I tell you, I hate it. That culture within distribution years ago that said, come to work for us for 30 years and then we'll listen to you. Are you kidding me? Guys, obliterate. I would hire the smartest young people right now today, and I would put them on jobs. I would put them on initiatives. I'd put them in projects. I'd bring them in on strategy sessions, and I need their input. So inject youth into your organization. And don't just inject youth, give them responsibility. Give them opportunities to look at the world, your business as it is, and bring their insights, their understanding of the world to it. All right? Doug, I'm going to tell you about 2021 Unleash in just a second. And then number 3 is use the term yes and. Let me go with this. Guys, have you ever been in a meeting in your organization where the ideas are flowing, man? Good, brilliant ideas, man, that could really be innovative and make something transformative happen for the organization. I know you've been in those organizations, but then, man, when somebody's throwing out that idea, You look around that table, and what are others saying? Have you ever been in the room when those ideas are flowing and people say, oh, that's not going to work. That'll never work. We've tried that before. The way we do it now is working. That's going to be too hard. Oh, by the way, Dirk, we don't have the time, the money, the technology, the manpower, the bandwidth, the capabilities. How do you expect us to get us that done? Have you ever heard that? Yeah, what people are doing as soon as legacy thinking says, because I know, because I have the expertise, right? Because I have the knowledge, as soon as an idea comes up, my knowledge, my expertise, the past success we have gives me the license to say, no, it won't work. Done that before, right? We feel we've got the license to say no. Build in the discipline in those brainstorming sessions as we're looking for ideas to create the future and ideas to experiment. Change those no's to the words yes and. When somebody throws out an idea, the discipline is not to say, no, that won't work. It's not to say, yes, but, because as soon as you throw that but in, what are you really saying? You're really saying no. So somebody throws out an idea, and our job is to take that idea and move it forward. Dirk, I'm not sure I fully understand, but yes. Oh, I said yes, so I got to practice that. Yes. And what if we look at it this way? Dirk, I see where you're going. Yes. And what if we do this? What happens is rather than shutting ideas down because of what we know in the past, we're looking to the future and we're expanding the idea to see where it can take us. Does that make sense, you guys? So 3 ideas to obliterate the status quo, legacy thinking, get out of the industry, inject youth, try this idea of yes and see what happens. So guys, hey, innovation truth number 22 or whatever Ted Bethany tells me this number is, you're right, is legacy thinking is absolutely holding us back. I hope this is generate some ideas and some thinking for you. And let me know, is this making sense? Any thoughts, comments, please put it in there. Hey, I got a question or first a statement from Doug. Doug says the future narrative idea is brilliant. I think we need to do that. I think we absolutely need to do that. Awesome. Sir, and I'm sorry, I won't even try. Thank you for being here. Thanks for bringing this conversation up. Inability to change has led to the death of many companies. It absolutely has. Many individuals have failed to realize their full potential also. Absolutely. Let me know where you're from. Thank you. And could you spell out your name phonetically so I could even try? Thank you so much for being here. This is great. And Doug, you ask about 2021 Unleashed status. You're going to be seeing some things, Doug, from us that you haven't seen before in the very, very, very near future. I'm in the process. I got 3 calls today to try to button some things down. I'm 98% sure we're going to move the Innovation Summit from the fall to spring of 22, Doug. But hold the last week of August free, okay? Hold the last week of August free. I'm working on some things, man, and it's going to be hot and cool and good and innovative, and we are going to take all of us, man. Doug, my goal is absolutely for this channel to thrive, for every business to thrive, USLBM, Heinz, Supply, every one of our businesses to thrive, and that means all 6 million of us throughout distribution need to thrive. And, man, we are working on some things, and I hope in the very near it's coming. We're going to absolutely bring that. So last week of August, hold on to that for me, Doug. Please, 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 please. That Sunday through Wednesday before Labor Day. All right. Hold on to that for me if you don't mind. And everybody else on here, hold on to that for me because you're going to love, absolutely love what we're going to be announcing in the next 7, 10, 14, 21 days. Okay, everybody? So, guys, this is absolutely fantastic. Muni RZ. So, from Zimbabwe, thank you so much. Muni Arzetti, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. I'm going to take tomorrow, what is today, Wednesday? Yeah, I'm going to take Thursday and Friday off. I'm down here in Miami. I'm going to a conference as a student myself for the next 2 days and really looking forward to that. And then I'm going to be back on Monday, and we'll continue all of this on Monday, all right? Jennifer, awesome. I'm so glad you're marking your calendar because you you mm, 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 will absolutely love what we are about to announce. Okay, everybody? So everybody else, mark your calendars. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Continue to let me know if this has been good for you. Give it a thumbs up in LinkedIn. Please, please, please share it with your tribe, your network. I'd appreciate that. That helps us out tremendously. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Wednesday and the rest of the week. Go and rock it. Do great, great things. As my dear friend Doug Jones on here says, let's make it epic and awesome. Let's make it all epic and awesome. Because I know each one of you are epic and awesome. So go forth, make it all happen, obliterate that legacy thinking, man. And I really hope that it all helped. Guys, thank you so very, very much. And be well. So glad, Doug. Awesome and epic. Yes, sir. It's in your calendar. Love it, guys. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Scottsdale is never going to be the same after that first week last week in August. That's Sunday to Wednesday. By the way, we will never be the same after we're together in Scottsdale. But I'm putting together the last couple things. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Have a great week. Go, everybody. Be well. And Brian Carr, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. And Cedric, thanks for coaching me, buddy. I'm going to keep working on that. Okay, everybody? Be well, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.